Hello everybody and welcome to Smack the Markets Trading Room weekly market wrap for weekend in the 3rd of August. Now, this last week was very difficult week for us in the markets. There was a lot of choppy price action, pretty much driven by a major news announcement that we had every single day. That created a lot of momentum in the market, a lot of reaction based on those news releases, but then a complete failure for the markets to follow through after that momentum move. And so this created some very sort of choppy markets, some very sort of wild swings where the market would just never, most of the markets just never really sort of clearly entered into any sort of decisive trends. Now, we did manage to take a few trades. It wasn't a spectacular week, and we did end the week early because of the non-farm payroll news at the end of the week on Friday. But let's take a look at a few markets here that we started the week off focusing on and looking for some opportunities. And these ones were the ones that were detailed in the Markets to Watch newsletter at the beginning of the week. Now, what we were looking for here on the mini Dow future, so this is the Dow Jones futures contract, we're looking for opportunities above 25.50. We're looking for this market to break above this sort of structure line and look for this uptrend to continue. As we can see what sort of happened, it's probably easier to take a look at this on the daily time frame. We can see the market sort of just poked its head above it, but then pulled straight back underneath, back into the value zone here, back into the moving averages. And now on Friday, we had a little bit of a momentum coming back in, bullish momentum coming back in and pushing price back towards that level again. So from a macro perspective here, the picture hasn't really changed for us here on the mini Dow. This still looks sort of bullish, and again, we'd still probably be looking at this for long opportunities again if this market can break through 25.50. That level just gives us a good confidence that that the market has got buying momentum in it, and the buyers are back in behind this market. Now, the other markets that we were looking at, if we come and have a look at oil, we were looking for, again, oil opportunities above 69.70. So this was a sort of structure level. If we open up here on the 4-hour, this is this level above here that we have at 69 sort of 70. We can see that the market did break above this level shortly for a short period of time, but just couldn't hold over it. There was a lot of oil news out last week, and consequently that resulted in the market sort of retracing over. Now, we did manage to capture a couple of trades in here, which I'll show you a little bit later. The whole reason for the oil play here was to try and sort of nibble in and start to take an advantage based on this weekly chart. If we look at the weekly, we can see that we got a small bullish candle back into the moving average zone here above this sort of structure point that the market recently broke at 66.50. So it was looking long here, and that's what we're looking for, sort of positions to potentially get a play towards the long side here and possibly a break above the old weekly high. So that hasn't played out quite as expected based on the news that we had through for oil last week. The third one that I mentioned was CAD Swiss, and CAD Swiss, what I was looking for here was a breakout above this sort of point on the weekly and the daily charts. If I open up the daily, it's a little bit more clearer to see. So we had a sort of structure point through here around sort of 76 or just above sort of 76 level, and we're looking for longs above that level because we're really sort of looking for a play up towards sort of 77. So that's the sort of swing play that we're looking for here. But we wanted to get positioned on the intraday timeframes. Now, we came close to having a few positions here on CAD Swiss, but ultimately, because of the news environment, it created sort of quite a bit of volatility in the CAD and the Swissy in actual fact on different days. And this resulted in the fact that we didn't manage to capture a good entry point to get positioned here. In hindsight, there were one or two sort of positions on very low time frames, but if we come too low, as you can see, that the markets were sort of getting a bit choppy here. Now, it still looks very nice for sort of long positions from a macro perspective going into next week, so we'll relook at this one for opportunities then as well. So let's come and take a look at the markets that we did trade and the trades that we took. Now, it wasn't many. We took a couple of trades here on oil. So this was at the beginning of the week. Once the market sort of broke that sort of 69.70 level, we're looking for entry opportunities. This one here was a play on the 15-minute chart. So the market just sort of pulled back into the moving averages here. We'd looked at a position here, easy one-to-one on this trade. If we come and have a look at the second one here, so this is the second trade on oil that we took a little bit later. So the first one was on the 15-minute time frame. The second one here was on the 60-minute time frame. The market sort of rolled back over, back into this sort of 69.90 level here. So quite a nice back into the previous previous highs. Relatively small bullish candle here back into the moving average zone, and as we can see, it sort of kind of got about a third of the way towards target before rolling over and running out of momentum. So this one ended up as a losing trade for us. So we got a scratch on oil. We got one winner, one loser. And the only other trade that we really had I'll call this as a call, because we were closely looking at CAD yen for a long play, but and some people did actually take this. So I'm going to sort of class this one here as a call here into the trading room, to be fair. And it was quite a reasonable setup, to be honest. So this was executed here on the 15-minute time frame. We had a reasonable sort of trend here, a reasonable move. Market sort of broke out of this sort of level, as we can see, that's been tested here multiple times. And we're looking for a pullback into this level. So pullback into the moving averages, into the 50% fib level. It was pivot point here as well. So it was quite a nice sort of cluster of technical analysis occurring at the same time. So we're looking for a pullback into here, looking for buying opportunities at this level, and of course looking for long plays. Now, what actually happened, if I come up to the 60-minute chart here, there was another setup that we use here that occurred on the 60. So we had a small bullish candle in the moving average zone here once the market retraced. So that just gave sort of like further confirmation. So a break of this candle would have been a nice trigger. And in all fairness, a very good sort of technical setup. But as we can see, what ultimately happened was that the market wasn't playing ball. It wasn't sort of technical enough, and it retraced, stopping anyone out on that trade before the market sort of rallied on again. And that's really the sum of the trading that we did last week. It was very much a sort of contained week, containment of our sort of trading profits from July. We didn't want to get too carried away because of the choppy market conditions, and I think that was sort of driven by the fairly unusual week that we had a major news announcement pretty much every day. So looking forward into next week now, into August as well. So we'll take a look at the markets to watch on Monday and see what we're focusing on there as well. Hope it helps, and look forward to speaking to you next time. Bye for now.